What if I told you the First Amendment is being rewritten? Not by China, not by Russia, but by Israel. In 2025 America, criticizing a foreign government could get you deported. Not for violence, not for terrorism, just words, just your voice.
Why are we snatching up critics of Israel? Not even America, not any other country, not any other religion, not anything but beloved, sacred Israel. And having mass men grab them off the streets for writing an op-ed against Israel, talking about economic sanctions and boycotts, not anything militaristic, not anything related to terrorism. So notice no critic of China or Russia or America is getting rounded up. Only critics of Israel are getting rounded up, and that's just a stone cold fact. So I don't like Israel running this country, which is obviously what's happening. I'm sick of it when Biden sent blank check after blank check to do the ethnic cleansing of the Palestinians. And now Trump says, hold my beer. I could do even better. I'm just going to, any critic of Israel, I'm going to trash the First Amendment. He was theoretically for freedom.
Cenk Uygur just dropped a bomb on live TV, claiming the US government, under both Biden and Trump, is letting a foreign government decide who gets freedom of speech and who gets silenced. If you're between 21 and 65, you've seen this country change. But this is different. They're now rounding up critics of Israel, and both sides of the aisle are cheering it on. Democrats, Republicans, this is cancel culture on steroids.
Thank you very much. I speak to you today as a lifelong supporter and true friend of Israel. I'm a newcomer to politics, but not to backing the Jewish state.
I don't want to stand behind this podium. Is it okay? What the heck? I'm the Prime Minister. There are those who talk about boycotting Israel. We'll boycott them.
Show me what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. Yes. I mean, time to fight. How can people unite? It's time to fight. Our country is under attack. What do we do?
Why are we allowing any foreign nation to dictate our laws, especially one we fund with billions each year? You criticize China, no problem. You protest America, totally fine. But say one thing about Israel, suddenly you're a national security threat. That's not democracy, that's dictatorship, outsourced.
All right, Vinny, I can see you ready to let rip. Josh, I'll come to you in a moment, but Vinny, I can see you simmering like a volcano there.
Yeah. Well, first things first, Piers, when it comes to the deportations and how do we get here? How do we get to the point where we have to reverse and send illegal gang members to get the hell out of our country? Is because the Biden administration with Alejandro Mayorkas literally let a freaking invasion of the country happen with zero accountability. Okay?
This isn't left versus right. This is freedom versus control. Biden sent blank checks. Trump backed deportations. Both sides are failing us. This is cancel culture with global consequences.
Cenk, you know I'm with you, brother. America, if you're an American, freedom of speech, First Amendment, you could talk all the shit you want whenever you want about anything, because I'm a free speech absolutist. But if you are...
It's like letting a roommate live rent-free, then watching them throw your friends out of your house. That's what this is. America gave Israel support. Now they're deciding what we can say. That's not an alliance. That's a takeover of our voice.
Protest against Israel. So then our government goes on a fishing expedition, also, by the way, by some vigilante pro-Israel groups that go around taking their pictures, looking at their social media, scouring it, and trying to find anything where they could say, well, he once is connected to a group that one guy in the group said this and this and this. So, oh, no, this isn't about criticism of Israel, which it 100% is. Oh, this is because, he did this wrong, or a guy he knew that knew a guy did something wrong or said something wrong. No, this is all a protection of Israel. And once you take away his rights, the Supreme Court is very, very, very clear. You're taking away our rights. And then, Vinny, you'll be arrested for saying what you say about Israel. And I'll be arrested, and we'll all be deported. I don't want to give away my First Amendment rights for Israel or any other country, period, full stop.
Okay.
I'm not interested in the witch hunts. Oh, Öztürk, she wrote an op-ed.
Okay,
Let's dive into her life. What did she say when she was 13? Israel's feelings have been hurt. Get real on what's happening here. A different government is running our government.
Today it's Israel critics. Tomorrow it's your post, your podcast, your protest sign. The First Amendment doesn't come with conditions. When we let fear dictate speech, we've already surrendered our freedom. They say, well, he was associated with someone who might have said something wrong. That's not justice. That's guilt by association, the same playbook used in authoritarian regimes. Since when did America adopt the logic of dictatorships? Let's talk facts. Every case that's made the headlines, the common thread, criticizing Israel, not supporting terrorism, not inciting violence, just voicing dissent. Why is that the only pattern that gets punished? If you're 21, just getting politically aware, you need to understand, free speech is the foundation. If you're 65, you've seen freedoms erode across decades. This is your warning. We lose this. We lose everything.
Josh, 1 second, Josh. I'll come to you. Just to be clear, though, there is a big difference between being an American citizen and being a green card holder, which I think is slightly lost on you, Cheng. You don't need to have committed a crime to have your green card revoked. The Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, has been told he's perfectly in his rights to deport Mahmoud Khalil, and I think you're being extremely naive about what his involvement was in those mob protests in Colombia.
Totally wrong.
He was the leader.
100% wrong.
He was the leader
Legally wrong,
of the
constitutionally wrong.
He was the leader. He was the leader of the protest group there who committed multiple acts of violence and vandalism, who were harassing and terrorizing Jewish students. And that group is on the record as saying some stuff which, if you repeated, and he was the leader, if you repeated that stuff,
in other words, not
at your
him.
green
In
card
other words, not
meeting,
him.
you wouldn't
Not
get a green
him.
card.
Guilt by association. Not him, guilt by association.
Well, if you
and
run
none of that is true on Öztürk. The one thing that's true is that every person being investigated is a critic of Israel. That's the one thing that's the connective tissue. And this is super important, Piers.
All right,
you guys are legally and constitutionally wrong.
Yep.
So the 1952 law does give Rubio the theoretical power that you're talking about. But the Constitution has been interpreted by the Supreme Court for 200 years to apply the First Amendment and the Constitution to resident aliens like green card holders. So that means those things are in conflict.
That's fine.
And what the Supreme Court has to eventually decide is this law unconstitutional? Which it most certainly is. It's definitely unconstitutional.
Yes, but Cenk, it's not a First Amendment issue. That's the point. If you're supporting
it
a prescribed
is. That's what I'm trying to get through your head.
In the
First
United
Amendment
States,
is in conflict with the 1952 law. Those conflicts are resolved by the courts. You just simply don't understand the law.
I do, but if you support a prescribed terror group in the United States as a green card holder, you can be deported. That's the point you're not getting. Let me bring Josh in here. Josh,
okay, so
how many
Öztürk
people
didn't do
did
that.
Barack Obama
Oh, golly gee, she's a critic of Israel and she got deported. She got rounded up anyway. And neither did so many others. But hey, every critic of Israel is rounded up coincidentally. And then I found a cousin of an uncle of an aunt who once said something mean about Israel, and that's it. Round them up. Okay, get real. Are you guys all pretending that this isn't on the orders of Israel? Are you all pretending that Israel didn't order Trump to do this?
Okay,
go ahead and pretend. Go ahead. I can't wait for you to pretend.
I have a question.